I know that I have a very strong and wise inner guidance. However, I feel that sometimes I'm afraid that I may not be listening or translating it properly.
Well, that will keep you from being able to do that. In other words, make your statement of intent, not your statement of what you're afraid of. Speak of what you want, not of what you don't want. We know that sounds ridiculously simple, but that really is it. Just more statements of what you want and fewer statements of your fear of not getting it right. So let's take your question at its really simplistic basis. I want to be sure that I can hear. So we want to say to all of you, we could not be speaking louder. So it isn't we need source to goose it up and make it louder. The process of listening is the process of tuning. So it's the process of frequencies. So, and you cannot get away from the conversation about emotions in order to understand the tuning. So the better you feel, the more tuned to your source you are. And the worse you feel, the less tuned to your source you are. So let the hearing from source be a separate subject from the tuning. Because what happens with so many of you, when you want something that you don't have and you're trying to tune to something that you want from the perspective of not having it, you don't tune to what you want, you tune in stronger to what you don't want. Have you noticed that? So you have to put some space between what you're asking for, the step 1 part, and the allowing part, the step 3 part. Put some space between it. It's all about the preparation. We say to you, the more walks you take in places that make you feel good, the more likely you'll be able to hear. But not necessarily while you're taking the walk. That's just the preparation. The more you smile, the more likely you'll be able to hear. But not while you're smiling. That's just the preparation. The more you breathe, the more you meditate, the more you laugh, the more you play, the more you dance, the more you have fun, the more likely you will be able to hear. Now, Source is watching for those moments of less resistance. This is something new. We have not said this to anyone before. We do not look out into your experience in a moment in time when you are all balled up in resistance and take that as our moment to spew our wisdom and inspiration. We don't just have our channel turned on full volume all the time, blasting out into the atmosphere. It's not like throwing enough mud on the wall and some of it will stick. It's not like that at all. We know who you are, we know where you are, we know where you want to be, and our message is always being offered to you with the greatest likelihood of your receiving it. You see? So that's why it comes in different forms. That's why sometimes other people bring it to you. It's why sometimes it comes on the wing or song of a bird. It's why sometimes it comes to you out of a memory or in a dream. It's coming in whatever way you will allow it, you see. And in simple terms, the happier you are, then the more obvious it can become, to the point where you'd say, I'd like that here. I'd like that here. I'd like that here. Wouldn't that be nice here? In other words, boom, 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 whatever you want, whenever you want it. That's what you are moving toward, you see. But meanwhile, just got to chill and tune and trust. The best thing that you can do is acknowledge when you know it clicked. The worst thing you can do is wonder why it's not clicking now in terms of progress. Mm-hmm. So don't take score of when you can't hear, but when you hear, talk about what you heard. Tell everyone who will listen. And have you noticed that you can even talk right out loud and some can't hear?
Yes.